All right. Hi, guys. How are you doing? We had I would say actually, arguably the best boxing weekend I think I've ever actually had. We had the Olympics, the semifinals, awesome fights. And we had this fight card that you can see right here. Andy Cruz, David Morrell, Jared Anderson, Martin... it's such a good... But it's mainly them. Crawford and Madrimov in the main event. And I'm sure you all know by now the result. If not, spoiler alert coming in a few seconds here. Terence Crawford defeats Israel Madrimov by a really close decision. I think it was 116 on 112 on one card, and then it was two cards with 115 to 113, which means 7 rounds to 5 on two scorecards and 8 to 4 on one. Fair decision, but this was the first time that Terence Crawford hasn't looked exceptional or sensational. He struggled with Israel Madrimov. Madrimov was not always that active, but he was very active in between the punches. A lot of footwork and so on. I got this the zone highlight. Let's move forward here so we can watch Madrimov and Crawford. You can see here, Madrimov is causing a lot of problems. So you're not used to seeing Crawford like this, struggling. Yeah, you see, getting tagged and not really being able to do anything about it. Usually when he gets tagged, he comes back and he hurts you right away. In this fight, he wasn't really able to do that. Now, look at Madrimov's feet. He's so active. Just because of that, then Crawford is punching. Madrimov was constantly, if you watch fencing, it was constantly feint attack, and then they attacked. Very hard fighter to fight, always in good position. You can see here, it's constantly attacking Crawford with heavy punches. Was that it? Was that all they showed? That wasn't a lot of highlights. I was expecting more. So, yeah, we move back here. Terence Crawford, not his best performance. Actually, probably the first performance where he didn't look sensational. And after the fight, I think you could hear in his voice, like he was a bit hesitant to moving up in weight. By the way, I should let you all know, I got a Latino rivalry behind the cameras today. We got the regular cameraman here from Puerto Rico, Sue Canino, and Sony from Mexico. So we have a classical Latin rivalry. For those of you who don't know, Puerto Rico and Mexico, they have a huge rivalry in boxing, in professional boxing. So I got the rivalry here in my couch. Gotta watch out so not a fight breaks out. But yeah, can you say hi?
Actually, we were sparring before the podcast, and I'm gladly to say that I won over the Mexican, Chile Mexican guy over here.
You got something to say? No Mexican words? All right. So, yeah, we've been watching the fights, and Israel Madrimov, I gotta give Terence Crawford a little bit of a pass on not looking that sensational, because Madrimov is that good. He's a weight class above Crawford, and I just think people are underestimating how good Israel Madrimov is. I don't think Madrimov's stock went down from this fight. I think actually his stock probably got stronger even though he lost, because no one was expecting him to win. Most of us was expecting Crawford to look sensational like always. And he managed to get Crawford to not look all that sensational. By the way, I'll do the Olympic boxing right after this card. So Crawford, what was he doing well? Well, he was sort of doing enough in every round, and he's very good. So he did manage. We see if we can get these highlights again. I thought the zone was really, they didn't show us a lot here. See, this is right away from round 8. The fight is, the first 7 rounds we didn't get a single highlight, but that was a good right hand from Madrimov. And I think it looked like Crawford's eye was swelling. Really tough fight. Good fight. Not all that entertaining, because Madrimov also was not very active for a large part of the fight. But on the other hand, neither were Crawford. Crawford was just doing enough in more rounds. So I don't know. You guys have anything to add to this fight? No? Alright, and let's move back here. And Isaac Cruz, if we go to that fight. That was a really good fight by Jose Valenzuela. I thought he won fair and square. Valenzuela got the decision, but he was hurt several times. Isaac Cruz is not an easy guy to fight. Valenzuela was moving a lot and managed to get Cruz to kind of hesitate on himself. Towards the end of the fight, just like here, you see, Cruz is not moving forward. As soon as that happens, he's not a very good boxer. He's really good when he's constantly moving forward and dictating the fight. When he has to move back, he's not all that... Well, he's still good, but he's not at the level he is when he's dictating the fight. Det var delat. That was a split decision. I thought actually it was a unanimous, but my memory is terrible. Valenzuela, good fight, and he deserved this victory. You guys have anything to add?
On to the next one.
Yes. So, then we got here Cruz. Andy Cruz and Miller. Oh wait, Ruiz and big baby Jarrell.
Miller.
Is it Miller? Isn't that? No, that's Andrew. Oh, sorry. I told you guys to bet on Miller, and he should have won. I thought it was pretty clear. He absolutely should have won. He was dictating the fight. Let's see here. Cruz looking in terrible shape, like always. I think he's probably the most undisciplined fighter almost in the game right now. Unfortunately for him, he's got really good hands, but you can see in this fight he was tagged over and over and pushed back. Wasn't able to dictate the fight at all. I thought it was a clear victory for Miller, but I thought that was a terrible decision. And then another betting tip I gave you with the other big baby, Jared Anderson and Martin Bakole. Martin Bakole is a really tough guy. He just kept marching forward. Back to the fights that I was actually more interested in, which was first the Cuban standout, David Morrell fighting, we've been struggling with this name, Kalajdzic. Morrell won, fair and square, but this was a good experience for him because Kalajdzic is really, really good, and Morrell got really frustrated in there. He should get some credit for hanging in there. So, not a very good performance by Morrell, but a very good experience for him. This will make him a better fighter. Now, another guy that had a good, a necessary experience, but also did not impress all that much. That's Andy Cruz. Andy Cruz showed us here Oh yeah, here's the end. Was that all the highlights they showed from that fight? Yeah, this doesn't really represent what actually happened in the fight. Cruz looked pretty small, and he got tagged a couple of times. You can see Bosi Ennis, his trainer, is trying to make him go more aggressive, but it doesn't suit Andy Cruz. Andy Cruz doesn't have a good chin. You can see he doesn't like to get hit. As soon as he got hit, his eyes went big and he just went to hold his opponent. Good experience in the sense that he has to learn what kind of a fighter he wants to be in the ring, because he cannot continue to fight this way. Because if he gets tagged by a better boxer, he's not gonna be able to stay in there. He's gonna move back to his amateur style where he's moving and just touching. So far he hasn't put this together. However, I should say, what very impressive finish. He showed that he's got some power. He's been working hard with the Ennis family in Philadelphia. So I'm sure he'll evolve from this, but I got a suspicious eye when it comes to Andy Cruz. We all know how good he is. He was a pound-for-pound top amateur by far. And as a pro, yeah, the chin is not there. And the ability to take a punch is not there. So he needs to make some changes to his game. Yeah, that's all the fights from the Israel Madrimov and Terence Crawford card. Any other takeaways from the fight card? Nah, not that I can remember. They had a fight early during the day, and you can see David Morrell and Andy Cruz here. They got to fight when the sun was in the ring. That's not very good. It would be good if they can fix that. We got a question here from Instagram.
We have a question.
Yes.
Who do you really think won between Madrimov and Crawford? Even though Crawford won.
Yeah, I thought it was a fair decision. I don't think that there was anything wrong with it. But I think had Madrimov had maybe 10 more professional fights behind him, he could have won this. Little bit of experience difference. Crawford knew exactly how much he had to do to win more rounds than Madrimov.
Another question
yes.
For you. Who is your top 5 boxer of all time?
My top 5 boxers of all time?
Yeah.
Yeah, this goes up and down. But in the top 5 of all time, I have a couple of criteria. Number 1 is that you should have a good, or at least have a decent argument to be the best boxer of all time. And if I'm going to go through the list, number 1, I got Sugar Ray Robinson. I don't think there's much of a doubt here. I think most people who actually know the history of boxing got him at number 1. And the reason for that is, if you look at boxing before Sugar Ray Robinson and after Sugar Ray Robinson, it looks completely different. All of us almost try to imitate Sugar Ray Robinson in one way or another. Actually, Walker Smith is his real name. And then at number 2, I got Henry Armstrong. He held and defended the featherweight, lightweight, and welterweight title at the same time. If you're able to do that, you should be up there. There's a good argument for you being the best of all time. However, it's not all that exciting. Number 3, I got Muhammad Ali. I don't think I need to introduce Muhammad Ali to the rest of you. Then we go back to number 4, and at the moment I'm leaning towards Sugar Ray Leonard. I think he came out as the top guy in the fabulous 4 of the 80s, the 4 kings, Leonard, Röhn, Hagler and Hearns. So I think he's got the best case. And at number 5, that's one that I'm really struggling with. I'm going back and forth. For example, I think Manny Pacquiao is probably the guy who deserves that spot, because what he did to boxing is absolutely unheard of. And not only the resume, the way he fought. He obliterated pretty much everybody from flyweight to junior middleweight. That is absolutely insane. Just imagine if Naoya Inoue moves up and obliterates everyone up until junior middleweight. That would be the same thing. However, Mayweather got that victory, and Mayweather also, if you think Mayweather should be at number 5, I think that's completely fair, and some days I think Mayweather is number 5. So I hope you like that list. Might come with a new list tomorrow.
There's a few people writing here that they agree with you, Paul.
All right, I'm so happy to hear.
You will be happy with that.
Yeah, they are well-educated followers, I gotta say. So then we got the Olympic boxing, unless we have some more questions. And today we got to see some really good boxing, especially the 51. I gotta give some credit here. Cape Verde produced a guy who will now go to the finals in 51 kilos. Got the bronze, David De Pina. Cape Verde, that's a couple of islands. That's crazy that they managed to get that. And then we had, there was Hassan Boy. That's a cool name. Hassan Boy Dusmatov. Yeah, he won fair and square. Then we had my favorite again, Erislandi Alvarez, just beating the crap out of Lasha Guruli. Guruli is a really top-level amateur, but yeah, there wasn't much doubt. Also, Guruli had terrible cuts from his earlier fight. But Erislandi Alvarez, that's the guy to watch. And then we got Alexander Kushniak, who managed to win against Arlen Lopez. Very close fight. But I thought Kushniak deserved it. And to be honest, I don't think Arlen Lopez is good enough to deserve 3 Olympic gold. Just like La Cruz, Jose Cesar La Cruz, who also was eliminated. And then we have the Uzbeki fighter defeating the Tajiki fighter at 92. So we got some good ones. And then the other day, the Spanish guy, Emmanuel Reyes, in 92, he lost to Alfonso, the Cuban Azerbaijan fighter. And Wyatt Sanford, he lost here to Soufiane Oumia. I really liked Wyatt Sanford. Hard to defeat a French guy in France. And also Nurbek Uralbay at 80 kilo moves on to the finals. I think that's about it. And let me say, I got some goodies here on...
Before you start with that, we have one last question on the chat about Jared Anderson. There's some rumors that he's hanging with the wrong people, and there's a follower that wants to know, what is your advice for a boxer that is not doing too well or focusing on boxing due to bad behavior?
Boxing is called the loneliest sport, and that's because you have to train all the time. You have to step away from all the fun stuff the young guys like to do. See, when you're young, you're just discovering the world, you're discovering girls and all this kind of fun stuff. If you want to be the best, you gotta step away from that. Maybe you can find a perfect woman, but I don't think you're ready to be the perfect man for her when you're a young guy. So, to be honest, I would just recommend everybody who wants to become a boxer you have to ignore that part. You have to suffer. You have to go through some suffering in order to be as good as you possibly can be. Because if you're hanging with the wrong people, now I can tell you, there's 3 things that can take a boxer the most talented boxer can get taken away by one of these three. First, you got alcohol and drugs. Then you got women, and then you got criminality. For whatever reason, those three things, I've seen they've taken most of the boxing talents that I've seen. The reason why not more boxers has been successful has been because one of those three things have ruined their career. So that's why I'm also a bit hard on guys wanting to meet girls. Yeah, that's gonna cost you. However, here we got Dmitry Pirog fighting Danny Jacobs. Dmitry Pirog might be the most wasted talent. Look at that knockout. Look, he's the original that Lomachenko imitates. Look at the way he moves in here to knock him out. He just switches with his feet. Kind of against everything that I'm trying to teach. But Pirog did it right away. He's so good. And just, you see, he flat out knocked him out. He's on the ground, not knowing that he's on the ground. Danny Jacobs. Yeah, that was so beautiful. And unfortunately, he got some back problems and managerial problems. So his career just ran out and didn't end up to what he could. But yeah. So then I got here. Oh yeah, this is Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, the 7th round. It's just so beautiful. This is one of the best rounds I've seen. If we can move forward a little. See if we can get. First he knocks him down with a double right hook, if I'm not mistaken. Or if that was the second one. Anyways, this is one of the most spectacular performances I've ever seen. And yeah, I was really thankful to watch it live. Let's see here. Anyways, go check out. This is Steve Boxman. Go check him out on Twitter. He posts a lot of good fights, a lot of good clips. Every time we can hear, if we just go to his Instagram. See, here we go. Trinidad, Mexico. Hey, here we got the rivalry.
Wepa.
Yes. Now, Fernando Vargas. Look at this one. Boom! That double left hook. It's so beautiful. That was only the first round. How he managed to come back in this fight is just insane. Fernando Vargas, such a tough guy. I mean, and then he managed to actually get Trinidad down as well. However, I do think this hurts in every Mexican's heart, losing this fight. But Trinidad was so good back here. He could just knock out anybody. See if we get the Trinidad gets knocked down in this round. Oh yeah, he punched low. Here, boom! The 4th round. That was a beautiful left hook by Fernando Vargas. Let's move forward here to the 12th round. Because the 12th round is one of the most brutal rounds I've ever seen. Boom! I mean, look at that.
I need to watch that again.
Yes, you definitely. Look at this one. Boom! His chin just goes from shoulder to shoulder up in the air. And I don't know, J90, look at that. They should have stopped the fight here. This last one was completely unnecessary, and Vargas was never the same after this. This is the kind of fight that a referee or your corner need. Look at that. Yeah. No wonder he was never the same. Up until this point, he had defeated Winky Wright and Ike Quartey, though questionably both of them for Vargas. And yeah, here's the fight card. Yeah. So, and we go, if there's something more. Sweepy Whittaker against Greg Haugen. Yeah, perfect performance by the old great Pernell Whittaker. Yeah, So I think that's about it. Hope you had a great boxing weekend. I sure did. So take care.